Okay, here we go. So do you see this place?
Throw thumbs up.
All
Throw
right.
thumbs up.
Okay, this is the entrance to the Air and Space Museum. And anyway, when we go into the museum here, you can see an awful lot of different things. I'm going to take you over to this one. You see that great big plane propeller right there?
Look at right there. That's it.
See it right there?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Grandpa asked a question. Grandpa, can you hear him?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep. Okay. That is from one of the largest airplanes that was ever built.
Okay.
And note, you see something that's really interesting about this? This is made out of wood. It's not made out of metal.
Oh, what?
Yep.
So I know what that's called. So you had like in a long time ago before me and my brother were born, it was built because we didn't have actually real planes and like that.
Well, they actually had planes when this was built, but the thing is that he wanted to build a really big plane, and he wanted it to be very light. Okay, so you see right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
See those? Those are actually rockets that have been used.
I knew it. I could see it when you were pointing at the thing.
Okay, I'm going to show you something that I actually saw fly.
You went there before?
Oh, I've been here before. Yes. Do you see this plane right here? That black one?
Mm-hmm. That's a cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a really cool one because that's called the X-15. Okay. When I was 6 years old, that plane used to fly over me in Nevada. And we would be able to stand out in the front yard, my brother Dean and I, and we'd look up in the sky and we'd see this streak go through, and we'd hear what's called a sonic boom, which was a great big boom sound. And it is really an awesome.
Looks like it doesn't have a rocket at the end. Yeah.
Well, it does have a rocket, but the rocket's on the inside of it. Here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I'm going to turn around and I'm going to look down. Okay. So this is the entry. So you walk through this entry area, and this is one of the things that you get to see. You probably talked about. Do you know what that is right there?
Mm-hmm. That is cool. That's the astronaut. That white thing is an astronaut. Yeah, with the backpack on.
Yeah, it's an astronaut with his backpack on, and actually, that is a replica of the Apollo spacecraft that landed on the moon.
I get it.
Yep, and that it landed actually in 1969, in July of 1969.
Were we born on that?
Huh?
Were we born on that day?
Well, no, you weren't. You were just a faint thought that you might be here someday.
Like, I was in my mom's eye and Oskar wasn't even born yet.
Nope. You guys.
So we were both in heaven, then we came to earth.
That's right. Oh, you know how old I am?
Where?
Okay, I'm 68 years old. So I was 18 years old when that.
I'm 4.5.
I know that. Okay, you see these?
And now I just turned 6.
See these two things right here? This one right here, the one that's turned on its side, that's called the Gemini capsule. And 2 astronauts used to fly in that one and fly around the Earth. This one right here, this smaller one, that's a Mercury capsule. And that was only one man flew in that. And the first one to fly in it was a guy by the name of Alan Shepard. And then he flew around the Earth one time. And then the next guy to jump in, it was a guy by the name of John Glenn, who actually ended up being a US Senator. And he flew around the Earth 3 times. And that back in the day, that was a big deal. And the reason I like this part of the Air and Space Museum is that I really like, studying. And when I was growing up, I watched all of the launches of these rockets on television. And then I would listen to the messages that were coming back from outer space, because one of the other things that you see in this particular part of the museum, you see this, do you see that round shiny thing up there at the top, right there?
Yeah.
That is called Sputnik. That was the very first satellite ever to be launched that went around the Earth, and you could actually sit out at night and watch it come around. And if you had a certain type of radio, you could literally hear it go beep, 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 and it would just send back that beeping sound as you went through it. Now, in this museum, they've got several different types of satellites. This one right here that looks like a satellite dish, just like a dish.
Thing.
What did you say?
It looks like the thing that takes pictures of you.
Yes, exactly, it does. In fact, this one right here was one that took pictures of the Earth and weather systems, which is pretty darn cool, actually. And they still do that. And you see that old plane right there?
Yep.
It's right above this thing here. That's the Spirit of St. Louis. That was flown by Charles Lindbergh, and he flew it all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. He flew to France in it. And that was a really big deal. And that was back in the beginning of the 20th century, back in the 1900s. There is so much stuff to see in this museum. I could probably spend 3 days in it because I would be so excited. So we're going to go and you'll see up here. You see this one right here? Okay, that is what was the very first plane that was developed by Orville and Wilbur Wright. And notice a biplane, it's got 2 wings on it. Okay, we're going to go upstairs here. Now we're going. Isn't that cool? See these 2 planes right here? This one right here?
Whoa.
That's an X2, and this is called an X1, and this is an X15.
I'm not gonna be right back.
Okay, you come right back.
He got seeds all over his chair.
Oh, no. There it is. That's that plane I was pointing out. It was built by the Wright brothers and flown at Kitty Hawk. It was the first plane.
I got one. Wow.
See how big that is? You see the guy that's laying inside of it? He laid inside of it, and then that's how it lifted off and took off into the air. And they actually did a lot of different things. They even tried to make a bicycle that would make that one fly.
Oh, that's all right there.
Right up here,
Yeah, yeah.
that is one of the Wright brothers working on their project. And so,
Oh, I get it.
Yep.
Wait, is that a real person right there?
no, that's just it's just a dummy like thing. Okay, now,
They're still upstairs.
yep, we're still upstairs, and we just went down this hallway right here. And we're going to go into what they call the special, see there, this is the space race over which we just got done looking at that. So here we go. Ready?
Yeah. Wait, that actually looks like the whole tops.
Yep, there are more satellites.
Hey, McDonald's.
Yeah, they have a McDonald's in there, all right.
I want to go there and eat all the McDonald's.
well, let's try not to eat too many McDonald's. That's not the best food that you can possibly have. It's good at times, but not the very best at times also. Now, this is,
Oh, you got a cat, Jace? Got a cat. Oh, she's waiting. Oh,
see, this is the, do you see the cat there? Do they have Leo up there? Or Jojo?
that's our dada.
Okay, so this is the space race. In 1957,
I'm just seeing
I
this.
was living in Nevada. That's where I saw all those jets fly over the top. And in 1980, we were living in Mabel, North Dakota.
Meow.
And what you see there are different types of satellites and different types of things that they put inside the satellites.
Mhm.
And I'm going to just go a little bit forward here.
What? How we get up there? How we
Yes,
get
we
up?
went up an escalator. See, there's some more of those.
Some magic stairs.
Yeah.
Just boxes.
Yeah.
These boxes.
What's in that screened-in area?
It's upstairs. It's upstairs now.
Oh,
We're way upstairs.
Well, no, we're not really way upstairs. What you see, I'm going to try to get to it. I'm trying to manipulate it here on my screen, okay? Just give me a second, okay?
You on a computer.
Yes, I am.
And I'm on your computer.
Okay, you see what's right here? These are some of the tools the astronauts actually had when they were going to the moon, what they were using inside their space capsules. That's some of the clothing that they would wear underneath their spacesuit. And what you see right there, that vehicle,
Mhm.
that's what they would drive around the moon on.
I can just see the wheel.
Yep.
You're pointing at the wheel.
Okay, I'll get
Wherever your thing's pointing, I'm following it with my eyes.
are.
Me too.
Now, the thing that's pretty cool is that you guys actually can take, and when you go and use your iPads,
You could add things that
Mm-hmm.
you can, I think your dad can actually, or your mom can actually get you
Thank
to.
God I have these in the
Hey, you're listening to Grandpa? He's telling you something.
Okay, one. I got you. Oh my gosh. Your turn. Go off. Here.
Is it Apollo?
This is of the Gemini, different things in the Gemini capsules.
There you go.
Need help?
I do not want to share it.
You don't want this one?
I don't want to share it.
Okay.
Dada. This is gonna be super fun. I don't want.
You see this panel right here, this thing like that? That's what they looked at when they were inside the capsules for the Apollo missions. These are the fuel cells. These are the things that actually made it go.
Here, so I can mix it up. Since you did that, I think I'm gonna mix it up too. Dad,
They have the attention of a 4 and a 6-year-old, Dad.
hey Dad,
That's what that's on.
got some garbage.
Okay, so you guys have seen.
Yeah, you forgot. Where's my garbage?
Okay,
Nice.
Ah,
no, okay. Now, again, you guys can go and actually get to this museum yourself on your iPads.
iPad?
On your iPad.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Your iPad, your videos.
Yeah, but your parents need to do that for you.
Okay. You see what we're looking at now?
Mm-hmm.
What are those things, you suppose?
Isn't that like a
Oops.
They're drones.
They're all drones, exactly.
That's what I was gonna say.
And you see this one right here?
Mm-hmm.
This one is the one that has flown the longest period of time. It flew for almost 2 years over the United States and has since landed. This one right here, this is a Predator drone. That's the ones that fly out of Fargo to places unknown. Okay, now, do you guys,
I see picture. I see a picture in there.
yeah. Now this is actually what it would look like if you were inside an aircraft carrier.
What? I can go somewhere to get my stuff in. Blink. Ask you lots of stuff there. One. Okay. He's still in the toy room. Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, cool. Okay, here we go. Going into again, the unmanned area vehicle overlook. We just looked at it. See, this is World War II aviation.
Down that airplane right there with the two colors.
Right here, up here?
Yeah. It kind of looks like a cow.
Yeah, it does in a way, doesn't it?
It looks like a whole brown chocolate milk cow. Yeah.
Well, one of your relatives, I guess he'd be your great-great-uncle.
Hey, you making this?
You see this plane right here, this big one? That's a B-17 right there.
Okay. Wow.
And this is a P-51 Mustang, this one right here. And this is actually a German plane, a Messerschmitt. This one that we're going to see now, this is actually a Japanese Zero. Isn't that a funny name? Yep, the Zeros.
Hey, watch. I can get something surprise. Captain America. No.
And these are all real planes that they didn't just.
My Captain America. Can I draw on my Captain America? She turned him to let's take. What?
You're
And this-
trying to Smithsonian now. Captain America's being too noisy.
Captain America. That gone.
Yeah, actually, Captain America would have been seen some of these planes. This is called a Spitfire. That's a British airplane right there.
This.
Okay, now we're going to go.
We've seen this one already.
We've already seen this, but I'm just going to we have to walk around.
How can we go downstairs so fast?
You want to go? You don't want to go too fast, do you?
I'll go downstairs.
Want to go down the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one up there. 67,
This is the entrance that we came in right here.
76. Okay. Where's the arrow? Oh, there it is.
No, come to think that this is another area right here. You guys have flown on one of those, I bet. You got big plane right there.
0,
Have they ever flown on a 747, Pat? Okay.
So you guys have been on a 757, but not a 750.
Okay.
We haven't been on one like that. We have been on one with a
Okay. Well, you saw planes like this one right here, I'm sure, when you've been at the airport.
Oskar! I need to get through this. There you go. I need to get through that. You see that? You're just like pushing me up. Oh my gosh, Oskar.
You see this one big plane right here? That's called a DC-3.
Whoa, that's awesome.
It is awesome.
Awesome. You like my cowboy hat? And the horses in the wind. Wrong way, wrong way. Nope, wrong way. It says not wrong way. This is the right way. This is the wrong way. This is the right way.
This plane actually flew all the way around the world.
What?
Yep, all the way. And it actually had used solar energy for some of the things that it did. You know what solar energy is? Where it uses the power of the sun. It doesn't use gasoline or diesel fuel to make it.
It can suck up the sun
It-
power.
That's right. That's kind of a good way of putting it, Oski. You see how
What are you doing, Oscar?
you see? Look at the wing there. You see how it's kind of worn out, where the paint has gone away.
Muscle tour. Oscar, your ball's down there. No, right here. Your ball's right here, Oscar. No, look right here. Right here. Is it under here? Oh, nope, it's down. Where are you after me? Under here? Right there. Where? Right there? You saw it, but he's not. I found it. I found my ball. Hey, I found it. I see the ball's right there.
On this page right here, this is all of the deep space vehicles, and that's called the space shuttle right there. I think they're going to probably put a space shuttle in the museum sometime soon.
I see the ball's right here. Oh.
Okay.
Hey.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed your tour
See, maybe
today.
we should set up other dates this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do more. I'll probably
I know the horse.
take a look at.
Oh.
You guys want to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Oh. I dropped my car.
Yeah, maybe we can do that tomorrow or even on Monday.
Okay, let's do it tomorrow sometime, okay?
Sounds good.
No, your driveway.
Okay,
Oh.
and next one time I do it, I'm gonna try to get Lucas on too.
Daddy, where?
Cool.
Yeah, Lucas is confined to Iowa City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not with Chris. He won't be there for about a month because of Tatiana and
Quarantine.
quarantine. Yep, yep. So anyway, well, I love you guys.
All right, hey, Oscar, come say bye to Grandpa and Jace. You have to sign language, Jace,
Bye,
since it's microphone.
Grandpa and Jace.
Come
Bye,
over here so they
Grandpa
can
and
see you.
Jace.
Come in front of me so they can see you.
I can't carry these.
Well, just look up. Look up. There you go.
Bye, Grandpa.
Bye. See you guys.
All right. See you later.
Bye, Jace.